Okay, good afternoon everybody. This is Bart from GiantScaleNews.com, and today we're here talking about 20cc profile airplane from Red Wing RC. And this airplane is what we're using as the subject of our group build at GiantScaleNews.com. And the group build just means we're trying to get a bunch of people together to do this kind of at the same time so that we could all be comparing notes, comparing our experiences while we're all going through the steps together. So to some degree we're doing that. Some people have already gotten out in front of us and are flying theirs. But we're not going to let that stop us. I'm going to go through this process one step at a time, and we're going to do these videos so that even if you come up and we're already flying, you could still follow along the steps. And if this is your first giant scale build, if it's your first gas build, you know, if you've been flying foamies, you've been flying smaller nitro planes, gliders maybe, you can get into this, follow the steps that we've laid out, ask us questions, and we'll be able to help you out. So this airplane, like I said, is a 20cc gas engine, and that's about a 17-inch prop. It's a profile plane, and that means it doesn't have a full fuselage. The fuselage is just a slab. So it's actually, when you look at it, built like a regular fuselage. It's just that it's narrow. So let's take a look at this. This is the box that it comes in. It's kind of an interesting box. It's half-inch cardboard, so it's very rigid. It's kind of heavy-duty. So included with the airplane, you get a free heavy-duty cardboard box. And if it doesn't get beat up in the shipping process, you can use it for something else. Maybe when you start building airplanes, you can use it to store old balsa, old modeling supplies. Maybe you could ship an airplane in it. So free cardboard box. The labeling on the front, I don't know if you can see me standing here, but the labeling on the front is pretty cool, big graphics. It does have a note over here in the corner that says, and I'll show you a close-up view when we put the video together, but this says, inspect the contents within 24 hours of receiving the kit, and by doing so, if you have to make a warranty claim, they'll honor it. So I haven't asked Tim at Red Wing RC how strictly he's going to enforce this, but it's just a reminder, when you get the box, don't let it sit around for 3 months before you call the vendor to let them know there's been some damage. Okay? So let's take that off. Actually, let's put it back here. And right now, I'm shooting this from an office in Clinton, New Jersey. You might have heard me mention at the website that I was moving out of my home office into a formal office, and this isn't it, but it's across the hall. So I'm here for this month, September, October 1st, I'm going into the new office. And that's where we're going to set up the full studio. There's going to be much better space for doing these kinds of videos. It's going to be a lot easier to do them, so they're going to be hopefully more frequent. I'm doing this in the corner of this temporary office, so I'm just using the camera with the audio on the camera. So I apologize for the production quality still being a little on the low side. But here's the box that the airplane came in. Again, it's very heavy duty. Everything was packed individually in plastic bags like this. And inside the box, everything was taped down. And you'll see, I'll show you some footage of me taking stuff out. And you can see it's very well, very secure inside the box. So this is the wing panel, individually wrapped. This is the wing panel outside of the packaging, and everything looks great. The monocoat, or whatever covering material it is that they used, is very tight. The graphics are very loud, so as this thing's going through different gyrations, you'll be able to see it clearly. All of the control surfaces have to be hinged, so there's a suitable number of hinges, which should make it nice and strong. There's 5 on the ailerons. The rudder has 3. And then the elevator has 4, and again everything looks good. Very dynamic color scheme again, so as it's going from this to this to this to this, you'll be able to see. To this to this. Anyway, fuselage, first impression, man, it's a lot bigger than I expected. This is it. But big is good, right? Big old slab flying down the field. The engine that is included with the package that Red Wing is offering us with the discount code, it's a 20cc DLE, or DLE 20, It's rail mounted, which means it's got ears on the side of the case so that it can sit right here and be bolted like an old school nitro motor. Power's fine. The people that have been flying these with that engine have been very happy with it. There have been some comments that when the wind kicks up, you know, this thing flying around being what it is, the motors or the airplane's a little more affected by the wind. But I don't know if this type of an airplane, if you really expect it to go out and have great wind penetrating capabilities. But for my build, before we get any farther down, just so you know, I'm actually going to use an electric motor with an ESC, and the reason being I have a bunch of these 6,000 milliamp 6S packs, and what I'm going to try to do is fit this in the fuselage, fit this, and use that for my flying. Also because the field closer to my house, it's only a few minutes away, there's a very strong preference for electrics. So if I want to take this out and practice and get good on the sticks, it's going to be a lot easier if it's electric because of that field that's closer to my house. The other field is 25-30 minutes from my house, and that one's a lot better suited for gassers. So continuing with our first impressions, everything in the box was very well wrapped. It's very secure, and as far as worrying about it getting beat up in shipping, I'd say low likelihood unless the delivery guy really beats on the box. Everything inside of the box is well organized. There's a package of hardware that you'll get. It's got a fuel tank, the landing gear. There's been some comments about the landing gear being a little flimsy, and I can see where they, you know, I see what they're saying with that. But we'll talk about that once we're doing the assembly stuff. The hardware package comes with wheels, comes with a fuel tank, ball joints, turnbuckle style push rods, which is very nice, and also a very very cool looking tail wheel assembly. Okay, this is a tail generator. The wings are removable, so they're in two pieces, and they include a carbon fiber wing tube for that. And this is actually a revised version of the airplane. The originals were a little harder to get the wings on. This one has removable ports on both wing panels where you slide the wing on, make your connections, and then there's bolts that hold the airplane together. So they're a lot easier to get to on this version of the airplane. This airplane is the Edge 540. I got the yellow one. There's actually 13 different 20cc profile airplanes available at Red Wing RC. That's another part of the reason why we chose this for our group build, the fact that there was a lot of variety, and there's also a better chance that you'll find them in stock when you go to buy them. So overall, it's looking like this is going to be a fun airplane. I'm going to put it together. It shouldn't take very long at all. The steps we're going to outline will be securing the hinges in case you've never had to do that before, installing the, it looks like just the elevator has to be glued in place. The wings bolt into place, engine, landing gear, all that stuff bolts into place. So we'll talk about the hinging, we'll talk about installing the servos and setting up the control surfaces along with the radio setup. We're going to talk about overall assembly. That'll be a short video, and then I am going to specifically discuss electrical conversion, because this is very obviously made for a 20cc gas engine, but I'm going to run it on electric, so I'm going to cover that as a separate video just so you can see if that's something you want to do. Okay, so 20cc Edge 540 profile from Red Wing RC. This is our group build at giantscale.com, giantscalenews.com. Thank you very much for watching.